Hello grade 6. In this video we are going to talk about relative clauses and how to join two sentences using a relative pronoun. Okay guys, as we know, the relative pronouns are words that connect two sentences together and give more information about someone or something. Who or that are used to talk about people. They are followed by a verb. They refer to the subject. Whom is used to talk about people. It's followed by a subject and it refers to the object. Which or that for things. Where or in which for places. When for time. Whose for position, or we can say ownership. Okay guys, now let's learn or know how to join two sentences together using a relative pronoun. Here is an example. The managing director is visiting the company next week. He lives in Cairo. Okay guys, if you want to join two sentences using a relative pronoun, we need to make sure that the two sentences are about the same thing or person. Here guys, the two sentences are about the managing director. Next, we need to look at the second sentence and find the pronoun that refers to the noun managing director. Of course guys, here the pronoun he refers to the noun the managing director in the first sentence. Next, we need to replace the subject pronoun he by a subject relative pronoun. So we are going to cross the subject pronoun he and replace it by who, which is a subject relative pronoun. Okay guys, so the sentence will be the managing director is visiting the company next week, who lives in Cairo. Okay guys, next we need to do what guys? We need to put or write the relative clause after the noun it refers to. So we need to put who lives in Cairo after the noun the managing director. So we are gonna cross the full stop first and write the sentence with the relative clause. So the sentence will be the managing director who lives in Cairo is visiting the company next week. So who lives in Cairo is a relative clause. Okay guys, here is another example. This is how Jack built it. Here guys, we have two sentences and we need to join them using a relative pronoun. But we need to make sure that the two sentences are about the same thing. And here, the two sentences, guys, are about the house. Next, we need to look at the second sentence and find the pronoun that refers to the noun. And here is it. It refers to the house. And here, guys, it is an object pronoun. So we have to cross it and replace it by an object relative pronoun, which is which. Why? Because which is used to talk about things. But here is a question, guys. Can I end my relative clause by which? Of course not. The relative clause should start with a relative pronoun. So we need to put the relative pronoun in the beginning. So our sentence will be, this is the house which Jack built. But here is a mistake, guys, and we need to correct it. Of course, guys, the mistake here is the full stop. We need to cross the full stop and write the sentence again. And here is our right sentence. This is the house which Jack built. Okay, guys, as we said before, the relative clause is a part of a sentence that has a relative pronoun. But guys, the relative clauses are two types: defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. The defining relative clause, guys, is a relative clause that gives important information about someone or something. Let's have an example. They're the people who want to buy our house. Who want to buy our house is a defining relative clause that gives very important information. Okay, but there is something, guys. We cannot remove the defining relative clause from the sentence. Why? Because it gives important information for the meaning of the sentence.
The non-defining relative clause. The non-defining relative clause is a relative clause that gives extra information about something or someone. Let's have an example. Sally, who I work with, is traveling to London next week. So, who I work with is non-defining relative clause. Take care guys, the non-defining relative clause is always written between two commas. So, if you want to write a non-defining relative clause in a sentence, you need to write it between two commas. Here is the thing guys, we can remove the non-defining relative clause without spoiling the meaning of the whole sentence. So guys, we can remove the non-defining relative clause without having any problem for the meaning of the sentence. So, let's have an example. Sally is traveling to London next week. Here guys, we crossed the non-defining relative clause without any problem for the meaning of the sentence. Here is another thing. We can't use that in non-defining relative clauses. Okay guys, do you remember we said before that the relative pronoun that can be used instead of which or who, but we can't use that in non-defining relative clauses. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.